Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream. We've got Kyle in, we've got Jen, we've got Debbie Sue, and we've got Miss M. Welcome to you all. How are you all? We've got Jen in the liquor store, in the wine shop, doing some seated rolls. That is great, is amazing. She has some issues. Well, thank you, Scott. I thought you might like that. Right. I'm not going to jump straight into it just yet because I want to give other people time to join in. But we're going to be talking about mental health studies and statistics directly related to content creators. So YouTubers, people who post on Instagram, TikTok, all things like that, which I think are going to be quite relevant to us as creators. So let me see how we're going to do this. So I think we will share the screen and we'll go with this one, I think. So, and I'm going to put me down here so that y'all can see this. So this is an article that was done a few years ago. It was by the Entrepreneur in November of 2025. And content creators saying that they can't afford to take breaks because they're struggling with mental health. So I think we can all relate to that particular one. It's hard when you're creating content and you're struggling, that you feel like you can't take a break and you have to keep uploading videos. And it's, if we go to the next slide, so 62% of content creators reported having some burnout, with 79% in some professional creator surveys. So some surveys have said 62%, some surveys have said it's 79%. And out of those people, 37% have considered quitting YouTube or content creation because of burnout. So how many people, just by a show of hands, have experienced some type of burnout on their content creation journey? Because I know I have. And Kyle has. Anybody who hasn't met Kyle, that's Cheddar Boy E. He is absolutely amazing, really fun channel. You'll enjoy his content. Miss M has struggled with burnout, as I would imagine quite a lot of us have. And there's not much that we can do about it when we're actually in the situation and we're actually struggling with the burnout. Jen says, not burnout, but self-doubt stopping me. Yeah, I think that is a big part of it as well, Jen. I think that happens with a lot of people. And I think it comes down to almost like the imposter syndrome, where we feel like we're not good enough or we're not qualified enough to talk about what it is that we want to talk about. And at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, I'm not trying to teach people or talk about things that I don't know. I'm only talking about my lived experience and what I have been through. Dana, welcome in. How are you? How are you? I loved your interview with Sally. Um, as a member of Sally's channel, I got a sneak preview of that interview, and it was absolutely amazing interview. So well done with that. Now, let's go on. There you see anxiety and depression. 52% of content creators, so more than half of them have reported anxiety, 35% reporting depression, and 10% of content creators reporting suicidal thoughts. Now, that is unthinkable. Like, it's a shame that within a space where those kind of numbers are actually real. And I think some of that comes down to the cyberbullying and the internet trolls. Some of that comes down to maybe poor channel performance and feeling like our channels should be doing better than they are doing. I haven't really felt anxiety over my content. I have had a period last year and the beginning of this year where I felt depression related to burnout. So I have experienced burnout and I have experienced depression because of my channel. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Em. At the end of this, I'm going to, when I was doing the research for this live stream, what I always thought was, why is there no type of counseling or something like that specifically for content creators? And I've actually found one. I have found a website that I have both anxiety and depression. I am on meds for me because of my Parkinson's. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. I mean, Parkinson's on its own is bad enough. But then when you start looking at anxiety and depression as well, it's like, where does it stop? It's like it's never ending. But if you was having depression related, you also have PTSD because of being a combat vet. Well, first of all, thank you very much for your service. I'm not American, but I have a lot of respect for veterans of every country. My cousin is a veteran himself. He's still serving, and he's a general major, I think. I know he's like quite high up, but not at the top. Sharing my experiences and thoughts through YouTube is very important to me. I already have significant mental health challenges, but will continue to work on myself and build resilience. That's how we get through it, Jen. That's how, and I think a big part of that, Jen, is leaning on the community that we have. And the world is a better place because of people like you in it. You might not realize it, but there are a lot of people out there who are happy when you join in their live streams and join in the live chat. You just make the conversations that little bit happier. That's exactly the way to be, Jen. Exactly the way to be. So, moving on from anxiety and depression, we've got financial pressure. 69% report financial instability income uncertainty drives stress and burnout. Now, I think that is a big thing for people who are just monetized or who are not yet monetized, because exactly, Scott, never think that and you are such a bright light. Like Debbie Sue says, we are all here for each other. That is the way this community works. I think a lot of the instability for financial things is people who are working and then they're trying to do YouTube as well. And then maybe the YouTube channel starts to take off just a little bit. And they're thinking, okay, do I do YouTube full time and worry about like trying to do less hours at work and just replace that with my YouTube income? That I think would be some of the things of it. Exactly, Scott. That is a lie being whispered. And I agree with Jen. Everybody is stronger than they realize. And it's whenever we're feeling down, whenever we're feeling like we're not having the best days, or something outside of our control is making us feel less than we are, we just need to remember that the moment we give outside forces the power to make us feel a certain way, we're giving them all the power. If we allow people to build us up and put us on a pedestal, we're also giving them that power to knock us off that pedestal. So a lot of being a content creator, but also just in life, it's about believing in yourself and not listening to self-doubt and not listening to other people who might not want you to do what you're doing because they haven't got the courage to do it themselves, or they're not brave enough to do it themselves. Because let's be honest, being a content creator is not for everybody. Getting in front of the camera and just talking and being vulnerable, it's not for everybody. And those who do it, whether they have 20 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers, I have respect for everybody who gets in front of the camera and puts themselves out there, because it's not a hard thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do. And when you're putting yourself out there, you're opening yourself up to comments from other people. And the majority of those comments are good comments and they are supportive comments. But every now and then you will get some comments from some little knobheads who just want to do nothing but just like bring you down. And we can't let them do that, because that is them winning. So I think we've all done this at some point, obsessively checking the metrics, and 58% tie self-worth to the content they're performing. I know I've done that, where I'm feeling like I need to be making better content. And if I'm not making better content, then like that's a reflection on me. And I'm not going to allow that to happen. So, as Debbie Sue said, you don't have to be perfect, because there is no such thing as perfect. We just have to be authentic, be who we are. And believe it or not, there's people out there who need to hear your story. People out there who are going through the same things that you're going through, and people out there who you can help. So don't give up on anything, because you are very important in this community. How many of us, hey Rev, wonderful to see you. How are you, man? I think a lot of us have obsessed over the metrics, and I think it's especially something we do when we are just starting out. Let's have a look. I have put out 3 videos on my channel that have been absolute disasters, but I cannot let that stop me from doing a podcast that I want to do to help other people with neurological issues. Exactly. The 3 videos that you have put out that you think of as disasters, in 6 months or 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, however long it is, those videos might take off. Oh, now we can start because Mike's here. Oh, thank you very much, Mike. A bit late, but thank you very much anyway. Yeah, Mike, we're just talking about how depression and anxiety and burnout affects content creators, and like tying our self-worth to our content performance. You know, if our channels are not doing great, is that a reflection on us? No. It just means that our videos have not yet been put in front of the right people for us to, you know, get more traction. Oh, work got in the way. Don't you hate when that happens, Mike? It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. There we go. You see, that's what I was saying at the beginning. 89% of content creators lack creator-specific mental health resources. And many creators feel isolated because you can go to counseling and you can go to therapy, but there's not really any creator-specific services out there. And we need more services out there because content creation is exploding. It's bigger now than it ever has been. And in 5 years, it's going to be even bigger than it is now. So we need to have more resources, counseling, therapy, support groups that are targeted at the struggles that content creators have. And I think these support networks are best run by people who are content creators because they've been there, they know what it is like to go through what we're all going through. And I think that would be absolutely amazing. So the more your channel grows, does that increase the pressure that you are under? The more your channel grows, does that make you feel like you need to be putting out more content? You need to be putting out content. Maybe you do 1 video a week. Do you then start feeling like you need to start putting out 2 videos a week? Or like in some way making or doing 2 live streams a week? Mike says it's not him. That's good, Mike, because we should not let any type of pressure get to us. I mean, we put ourselves under a hell of a lot of pressure anyway. M says, I do see a therapist, but she seems to be a broken record. I don't have the heart to find a new one. Don't want to hurt my therapist's feelings. I would say it's not about your therapist. It's about you getting the right help for you. So If you need to go to a different therapist, you go to a different therapist. Trust me, your therapist has many clients. Her feelings are not going to get hurt. There are times when therapists ask other therapists, can you take over this client because it's not working out? I don't feel like I can give her the help that she needs. Maybe you can do a little bit better job than, you know. Um, Mike, you work your ass off, and sometimes you work so hard that you put so much pressure on yourself, as do a lot of the creators in our community. So, what you do is you do what you can when you can and be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like someone you love. Because if you're not going to love yourself, how can you expect anybody else to love us? Okay. So, as creators, how do we switch off? If we wanted to step away or if we wanted to just take a break, how would we do that? Oh, and if Sally was here, she would say to hydrate. So it's important to hydrate. With my super cool stickers that I received from Scott today. Thank you very much for those, Scott. Yeah. How do we switch off? Yes, Miss M, you need to be more honest with your therapist. You're only hurting yourself. Your therapist will understand. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. And, therapists don't take things personally. They know that they've got a job to do, and they know that sometimes they are dealing with people who maybe the chemistry isn't there, maybe the person is not opening up to them as much as they need to, and maybe they need to have a different therapist, and that is perfectly fine. Everybody does that. I think there are higher expectations the more your channel grows. I think you feel you need to improve more, put out more, and make better content. I would agree. I think, but I also feel like those higher expectations we put on ourselves. I don't feel like the people watching our content put that extra pressure on us. We put that extra pressure on ourselves because we feel like, oh, I'm growing, so I need to be growing as well. We, as content creators, we need to be careful that we are growing within what is easiest and safest for us to manage. Because if we start trying to do too much too fast, that leads back to burnout, and then we start resenting the things that we're doing. And that's something that we don't want to do. Everybody, sometimes we all feel like we need to take a break. What I would say is when you're feeling like that, because you made that video because of a comment that you got in a live stream. So, what I would say is when you're feeling a certain type of way, whether you're angry or you just feel like lashing out, don't make a post about it because you might the next day regret making that post, or you might say something to some people that you wish you hadn't said. So it's always a good idea to just don't do anything. Just put a pair of headphones on, put your favorite music on, and just listen to the music in your headphones until you calm down. Or watch your favorite film, or play your favorite video games, go for a walk. Whatever it is that makes you happy and whatever it is that helps you relax, that's what you need to do. Keep in mind, the world is full of knobheads. The world is full of people who just want to bring us down. Then again, some people say things with that they don't mean in a nasty way, or they don't mean it in a way that is rude, but sometimes we take it in a way that's not the way that it's being said. So we have to be careful of that as well. Yeah, and like Jen says, we're not going anywhere. You know, Jen's there, she's doing her seated rolls with a bottle of wine, imagining that she's in a canoe around the lake with her notes blowing all over the water. She's not going anywhere. She's probably dropped one of the oars in the water, so she's just going around in circles. We do put the pressure on ourselves, exactly. And what support do you think we need as content creators? What support would you like to have? Exactly, Mike. You don't want YouTube to feel like a job. Don't just do the thing that you love. You know, don't just do the thing you love, but love the thing that you do. If you love what it is that you do, it never feels like work. That's a good idea. You know what? It was a good idea. I remember Jen telling me I'm allowed 2 good ideas a day. Anything more than that, and I'm, you know, I'm pushing beyond myself. So Jen says a broken clock is right twice a day, so I'm allowed 2 good ideas a day. So yes, we've got this community for support, and well, I'm glad you're happy that you came in here today. I'm glad that you came in here as well. I found just doing a quick 30-second short, giving an update can help. It's easier than doing a full video. Exactly, exactly. I need to do more specific shorts rather than just cutting shorts from videos. And it always helps to know we are not alone. Exactly. I mean, how can we be alone when there's millions of YouTube channels uploading billions of videos, you know? So this is what I wanted to talk to you about. So it's a mental health resource for content creators. And it's, you know, like it says there, championing mental health in the creator economy. And this is where, as content creators, there's a place we can go, a website that we can go to find support, to find help that we might need, and to just talk to somebody who knows what we're going through and who might be a little bit qualified to talk to us about it. Oh, you should go and watch some of Carl's videos. They're hilarious. They really are. So, yeah, that is creating for mental health. And if you go on to the actual page, It's called, Create Occur. And there you can start with a free 20-minute consultation. And I think this is just an amazing resource for us to have, mental health support for digital creators, co-created by Revive Health Therapy and Creators for Mental Health. I think that is an absolutely amazing resource that I only learned about that resource today. So I'm sure a lot of people would be able to make use of that type of a resource. And if you want, let me know. I can leave a link to this in the description for the live stream. I can put a link to this in Scott's Discord group if Scott doesn't mind. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Thank you. Oh, Jen's just got home and now she gets to make dinner. Well, aren't you a lucky little ducky? Hey, CL, how are you? Great to see you here. Thank you for joining. So, what is on the menu for tonight, Jen? Because, in fact, we'll talk about the menu during your stream. You can tell us what you had for your dinner. Speaking, because Jen works in the medical field. Oh, chicken fajitas! Now I'm hungry. Okay, everybody's cooking, and I'm okay. If I'm being honest, I just ate a whole Black Forest Gassel to myself before I came on here, so I'm quite stocked up. But Jen, as somebody who's worked in the medical field, what do you think about this concept of having mental health support specific for content creators? Because this is something that I've felt for a long time that we need. Oh, everybody's having chicken. Everybody's having chicken. Wonderful. I like chicken. See, another one with chicken. Grilled chicken with pineapple. Well, I tell you what, you could be having the worst day of your life, and if Debbie Sue's giving you grilled chicken with pineapple, that's going to put a smile on your face no matter what kind of day you're having. Absolutely. Mike likes chicken as well because meat is expensive. Yes, it is. But we also, Mike, you can also make some of the cheaper cuts of meat are the most tastiest cuts of meat. And the only reason they're so cheap is because nobody buys them. Like sweetbreads. Not many people buy sweetbreads, but word on the street is they're delicious. The most important aspect of mental health support is finding a counselor or therapist you connect with and trust. Exactly. And that goes back to what Em was saying, right? About not opening up to her therapist. Not everybody, you might get go to a therapist and there's for some reason it's just not quite there. You don't feel like you can open up to this person. For I don't know, for you it might be that your therapist is a man and you would feel more comfortable with a woman, or it could be a woman and you think she's just a little bit stuck up and she's not really listening to you. It could be any number of reasons. Debbie Sue passed up the beef, or she'd have been making grilled pineapples and beef. Exactly. A free consultation session to see if you connect well. I think that is something that would help save a lot of time, because you're not just wasting your time, you're wasting the therapist's time. If you're not connecting with the therapist, I feel like you need to speak to the therapist and say, look, this isn't working. Can I see somebody different? And if the therapist feels that it's not working or there's not much progress being made, it's the therapist's duty to speak up and say, I don't feel like these sessions are progressing as well as I would have liked them to. Would you like to look at options about seeing a different therapist? And if they say that, it's not a knock on you. It's them trying to help you get the best help. Like, yeah, you sometimes just don't click with people. I see a woman, the spark isn't there anymore. Okay. Have you seen other therapists who you did have more of a spark with? That came out wrong. Everything comes out wrong. It is, Kyle, it is. It's an amazing community. My church in Colorado had classes on Friday night. He separated the guys and girls. You could choose from several different categories like addiction or always having to be in control. Other things, I always thought of it as free therapy, and it was good to see what other guys were going through the same thing I was dealing with. So maybe find a good church. Yeah, you know, finding a church, finding a friend you can talk to, finding this community is full of so many people, supportive people. And I feel like with this community, there are people from so many different walks of life, you've got men, women, you've got middle-aged people, you've got people who are slightly older, you've got people who were in the military, people who've done corporate work. There's people from every walk of life in this community. And somehow everybody just clicks with everybody else. Like, if Ali G was in the chat now, she'd be saying my face clicks with everybody else. And it's just how we are as a community. We are here to have so much fun. And let's turn this a little bit. We're here to have so much fun and to help each other in whatever it is that we're doing. Yeah. I mean, as well as having people from all different walks of life and all different backgrounds, you've got people who are at different stages in their YouTube journeys. Okay. You've got people who are just starting out, maybe 30, 40 followers. Then you've got people who are trying to get to that 200 subscribers. And then you've got those between like 500 and 1,000 subscribers. And then there's a few of us who have like really managed to find what works for them. And they're on like 20, 30, 45,000 subscribers, like old Mike. And, you know, he's at what now? He's coming up to 50,000 subscribers. You've got Rob the Maritimer. He's at over 100,000 subscribers. and they found what works for them. And because they remember what it was like to not have as many subscribers, they're there with the sole purpose of helping us as creators grow our channels. And when I say grow our channels, I think it's important to remember not every YouTuber is focused on getting monetized. Not every YouTuber is bothered about getting to that 1,000 subscribers. There are a lot of YouTubers who do YouTube because it is a hobby, because they love what they do. Yes, I advised people to get help when I was 12, just shy away from it. 13, I Googled self-help and I started doing something that wasn't very helpful. Okay, well, do you like reading them? Because there are books that a lot of people could suggest to read that would really, really help. Mike, you needed help and support while you were yourself was trying to get your ex-wife the help she needed. You went through your own trauma. Yeah, I think Mike is one of the people who will do everything for everybody else while at the same time he's not really taking care of his own, like his own body, his own mental health. He might work himself too much, too hard, too fast at to help other people, but at the same time to the detriment of himself. If I put out a camping video, I get thousands of views. As soon as I put out something about my boat or something else, I get a few hundred views. If this happens to you, remember you're not a failure. Exactly. Some people might just prefer the camping videos than the boating videos. If you're out on a boat, is the audio as clear as it is when you are in the camp when you're doing the camping videos? If it's not, is there a way you can fix your audio to bring those audio levels back up? I would much rather watch somebody on doing fishing videos than camping videos, but that's just me personally. Okay, M likes to read. Do you have a library that you can go to, M, that you can take books out of? Because we can give you quite a few really good books. I'm fighting with the voices in my head. I need to work 12 hours to pay the bills, but my body is telling me enough after 10 hours, and that's just work. That's not including the drive time. Okay. I think I would say that when it comes to working 12 hours to pay the bills, but your body's telling you enough after 10 hours, this is going to sound dramatic, but it doesn't make it any less relevant. Who's going to pay your bills if you drop dead at work? Who's going to take care of everything at home if something bad happens to you at work? If you was to go to a different job, or if the place where you work decided to, for any reason at all, to fire you, they would replace you inside of a week. if you was to try and get another job, that could take months. So you have to put yourself first all the time, all the time. Trust me, I learned that the hard way. I woke up one morning ready to go to my place of work when I worked in a mental health care home. And I sat on my couch and I thought to myself, I would rather die than go back to that building. So I rung my place of work and I quit. I told them why I quit. I told them that it was poorly managed and they couldn't manage a bank account, never mind a place of work. I called my doctors. I went to see my doctor and he gave me a sick note and he put me in touch with a counsellor. So, oh, Laurie will kick your ass, no doubt about that. The same for my problem is I like to play too hard on the weekends, but you are correct. I need to learn to take care of myself. What you do on the weekends is that's your time. And Mike, what do you think would happen if you spent all weekend doing nothing except relaxing? I mean, I understand for you fishing is probably relaxing. And fishing is very relaxing. Okay, let's look at it like this. Is there a position at your place of work, or is there a position that is at a different place of work that might not be as physical for you, or that would allow you to work less hours, but still let you be able to pay the bills and things like that? Because, you know, everybody, like Debbie Sue says, everybody worries about you. Like that shit you pulled yesterday when we was in Scott's Discord group and there was like, you know, I thought you was snoring or something like that. I was worried about you. Everybody in the community worries about you. And as we do with about everybody, like I worry about Debbie Sue, worry about Jen, Laurie, Sally, everybody. And I know that people worry about me. But there also comes a time when we have to worry about ourselves. We have to love ourselves and treat ourselves like somebody you love. I don't put myself first. I would rather help others than myself. You can't help anybody if you're a mess. That's why the best thing you can do to help other people is to help yourself. To help yourself get into the right headspace where you feel better about life, you feel better about yourself, where you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love that person. Because people might be taking advantage of you. I don't know what the situation is, but you know, you need to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else. On the plane, what's the first thing they tell you when you get on a plane? If shit hits the fan, put your own safety mask on first and then deal with your children. Because if something happens to you, you can't help them. So I would definitely hate the work we even more. Yeah, I think it would be great. Mike, would you consider trying to go to a different place of work that lets you work less hours? when somebody's missing, we're going through something. Thank you, Peter, for this. This is really good. You would definitely make a good therapist. Yeah, maybe, but I don't know if I would be. I'm only qualified to talk about what I've been through, and it just so happens that I've been through things like what you've gone through, Mike. Things like what Em's gone through. You can't pour out of an empty vessel. Exactly. Exactly. The Reverend is still in the house. It's always good to have the Reverend in the house. And CL's still listening. And he loves how she loves how everyone supports each other. You know what? This is the best thing about YouTube. It's not the monetization and earning the money, and because the money you earn is probably not that much just from AdSense and all those things. It's the community, because you meet people and you feel like you're making friends for life. I know there are people who in this community, I can send one message and that person will ring. If that person's free, they will ring me straight away. Is everything okay? How are you feeling? You know, and there are so many people like that in the community. If you was having a bad day or if you was feeling a little bit depressed, you send one message in Scott's Discord community, in Scott's Discord server, and you would not get left alone all day. You will have people on you, checking how you are, ringing you, texting you, trying to make you laugh, all types of things. Jen, did you see I got my groovy cool stickers from Scott's today? I've already got one in my little jug. It's amazing. Oh, hey, Pam. You don't need to be apologising, Pam. It's fine, it's fine. That's what replays are for. And you had to run some errands. Life is lifing. I don't know who the first person to say that was, but it was a very smart person. Life is lifing. So, back to what I was saying. You underestimate people. That the people can do anything these days. Okay, so we're talking about books. Go to the bookstore, okay, or to the library and rent out a book called Let Them. The author's name is Mel Robbins, and her book is called Let Them. It's a green book. You can't miss it. That's the first book I would get if I was you, Em. Yeah, take your time, Pam. All the videos are there. And I also find that when we can't sleep, or if we're just feeling a little bit bored throughout the day or anything like that, whatever it is, there's always somebody's channel that we can go and watch, and there's always a new video that we haven't yet seen. So, like, I wanted to make this live stream about mental health, because for the last week or so, I've been struggling with depression, not related to YouTube, but because I'm having problems falling asleep at night, and there's nights when I'm awake till maybe 5, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. And that kind of gives me anxiety of when I go to bed, feeling like I don't know if I'm going to be able to fall asleep. or if I'm going to be awake all night. So last Monday, I decided I can't do the stream. I'd had like 2 hours sleep the day before or the night before, and I was just so tired. I just physically did not have the energy to go and do last week's stream, which is why I made the decision to cancel it. That is something that we all need to do, is if we are feeling a particular way, don't feel like we are obliged to do anything. We are forced to do anything, because we're not. It's our channel. If we don't want to upload a video on a certain day, we don't have to. We can upload it the next day or the next day. And there's always going to be 20 people in the community ready to support us, whatever we do. Oh, that's good, Em. It's an absolutely incredible book. So, in fact, give me a moment here. So, that's the one we're looking at. So we're going here. Right. We're going to remove that. And then this one is just for M. So that's the book that you're looking for, M. There you go. A green book, the Let Them Theory, and it's an amazing book. You will not regret it if you read it. You know what, Jen? I haven't read her High Five Habit yet. I think wasn't there a book where she has like a 5-second rule where she counts down from 5, and then when you get to 0, you just get up and go and do the thing that you need to do. Her books and her podcast are amazing. They really are. So Mel Robbins' High Five Habit was amazing too. It's her story of moving through low self-esteem, anxiety, and depression. Can you imagine somebody like Mel Robbins ever had low self-esteem or anxiety? Depression I can kind of understand, because I imagine quite a lot of famous people deal with those types of things. But low self-esteem for somebody like Self Robbins, it's unheard of. Yes. See, Dylan could relate very much. He's so tired and there's not really any chance to slow down, but his body is getting really tired. And that's when that's when the discussion needs to happen about, okay, at what point do we have to say, okay, enough's enough? Money might get a little bit tight for a little while, but for the next week, oh, goodbye, Em. Have a lovely day, darling. For the next week or the next month, I just need to take the time to let my body and my mind recover. I would see, Mike, I always feel like I would prefer to hire an older guy, because they've got more experience, and you can teach somebody how to do this, or you could teach somebody how to do that, but you cannot teach somebody experience. Remember that. You cannot teach experience. Experience is something that you have to acquire yourself. You have to live and do the things on a consistent basis. You have to make the mistakes. You have to get things right. That's how you build the experience. Yes, that's the way it used to be. Some companies still work that way, but a lot of these companies just don't want fast. They don't really care about quality anymore. It's about quantity. Well, fuck those companies. Quality is always better than quantity. Always. Always. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Please, everyone, remember in 1 hour, we have got Jen going live. And as always, Jen's lives are amazing. So everybody be sure to catch Jen's live, and I will see you all there as well. Thank you, guys. Oh, thank you, Debbie Sue. That's very kind of you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining.